Good morning, everyone. At this time, I'll call the Crow Wing County Regular Board Meeting for November 23rd, 2021 to order. If you'll stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you and welcome. At this time, we'll have open forum. If there's anyone who would like to speak on any matter that's not on our printed agenda and who is bringing new information to the meeting, this is your opportunity. Senator Samuelson, if you'll give us your name and where you live.
Well, thank you, Mr. President and members of the board. My name is Don Samuelson. I live at 1018 Portland Avenue in Southeast Brainerd. You get plenty of complaints, so I'm here to talk to you about something a little more positive. When I read the paper a couple weeks ago about the group of people that were complaining about the county's election process, I thought it was strange they'd complain about an election that they won, but these are strange times. Anyway, I had the privilege of serving as an election judge on two statewide recounts. One was Al Franken and Norm Coleman's run for the U.S. Senate. The other was Dayton and Emmer's run for governor. And I can tell you that Deborah Erickson, who trains our election officials, does an outstanding job. You can be very proud of what they do. And the election judges that we have are very dedicated to their job. They do an outstanding job and they do an honest job, and they work hard at it. Some work early in the morning till late at night. But at any rate, in the recount process, there's equal number of judges for each candidate. I think we had a setup of about 8 tables, and every ballot is counted by hand, one at a time. And the judges have the responsibility, if they so choose, to challenge any of the ballots if they see that there's some gross mistake. And then that ballot is set aside, and the attorneys that are there representing both candidates then decide, along with the auditor, if those ballots are worth being challenged, and then they would be set aside for a challenge. So I can tell you that there just isn't any. Crow Wing County does an outstanding job in their election process. There weren't any gross mistakes. There weren't any illegal votes. There was no fraud. That's because of our election judges and the job that they do. When the process was over, the attorneys for both sides came up to us and said, you know what? Crow Wing County has the best election process of any county in the state. I was pretty proud to hear that, and you should be too. That's Crow Wing County, and that means a heck of a lot to the citizens of our county. They can be proud of the fact that when they cast their ballot, it means something, and it's honest voting. So I just wanted to mention that because I think it's important that the public knows that we have a safe system and a good system, and one of the best in the state. I've been around politics quite a while. In fact, in 1948, I was 15 years old, and I was asked to go to the Brainerd Armory where the state convention was being held, and where I panned out literature for the mayor of Minneapolis, who was running for the U.S. Senate, named Hubert Humphrey. That was my start. And I also had out literature for our state representative at that time, Charlie Halstead, who was running for governor. So I had an early start at an early age, and I just kind of hung on. Later on, I had an opportunity to know then Vice President Humphrey very well. And when he ran for president in 1968, I had an opportunity to be a part of that, a small part, but at least a proud part. And when he lost that election, it was one of the closest elections ever in our country. He didn't holler about it, he didn't scream about it, he didn't say fraud, he didn't say I was cheated. He simply accepted it. And when Mr. Nixon was sworn into office in January, he said, well, he's my president too. That's the statesmanship, and that keeps our democracy going. And later on, in 2000, Al Gore had probably the closest election ever in our country. It came down to one state, Florida. Well, we all remember what happened in Florida with the hanging ballots or shads on the ballots or whatever it was. And finally, the election was decided by the judges, the courts. And Al Gore had every right to probably complain, had every right to probably say the election was stolen from him, because at that time, George Bush's brother was governor of Florida. But he didn't, because he said, for the good of the country, let's go on with our business. So that's kind of my long experience in politics, but I just wanted to mention to you that you can be proud of your staff and the work they do in our election process, and give them a hand and a big thanks to the judges that run our elections. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Samuelson. Is there anyone else who would like to speak who's going to bring something other than what we've previously heard? Ms. Sylvester, where do you live? And I guess I know your name.
Good morning, Commissioners. I am Robin Sylvester. I live here in Crow Wing County. I, too, want to thank all of our election judges and everyone who puts immense amount of effort forward to help our elections be as most secure and safe as we all as citizens expect. I would like to share with you some foot canvassing results that I shared a bit about 2 weeks ago. We have currently foot canvassed less than 1% of the households who have 2020 voter information on record. Of the folks that we've been able to have at home and answer the door, we had 216 doors that were answered. 178 of those households accepted, that's 82%, accepted completing our survey. Only 38 did not. So 82% of our current population that we've visited are interested in affirming that our election information is accurate. Now, there's 22,000 households that have voter records in Crow Wing County. If we extrapolate that, 82% would be 18,000 would answer in the survey. Of our 178 that answered the survey, we have 12 households that have recognized lost vote, which means there's no record of them voting, or it says that I voted in person. They stated they voted in person, but it was absentee. We had 4 households that had phantom votes. That means they did not vote in the election. However, the records showed they did vote in the election. We have registration errors of 5 households. We have received unrequested ballots and actually have in our possession a ballot unrequested by a person that was in person precinct only. Of that, there's 34 records of the 178. That means 19.10% of the records that have irregularities that we must take a look at. If we extrapolate that, we're going to have 1,215 lost votes. We're going to have 405 phantom votes. We're going to have 505 registration errors. And then unknown how many election ballots not requested. How many anomalies, irregularities, this is 19%, is enough for this body to consider our request of a forensic audit? Now, I have one other statement to make, is that as a state employee, many of us have recognized that attorneys say that if in the statutes it's not articulated and it's not specific, then we have more flexibility. Now, are you going to create flexibility on the side of not completing a forensic audit or agreeing to complete a forensic audit? We hope and pray that you all will help us move forward with this forensic audit based on the anomalies that you've just heard from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else? Before you start, are you bringing something that we have not heard before?
I'll
Mr.
be
Davis?
speaking from my heart today, sir.
Okay.
My name is Ben Davis. I am a citizen of the United States of America and a resident of Crow Wing County. I am not here to complain. I am here because I sincerely love this country and the freedom that it stands for. Most importantly, I love the citizens who live here. You do have the authority to do a full audit or to hire a professional third party to do a full audit of our 2020 election. Let me explain why. We do all kinds of audits every year at a state and federal level in regards to management and how finances are spent, not because we think people are doing a bad job, but because we want to get it right. We have spent millions of dollars over the years doing just that. We as Americans have the resolve to make sure we get things right. You can watch a football game on Sunday afternoon and you'll see 5 different camera angles just on one play because we want to get the call right. And that's in regards to something that has zero impact on anything that really matters in life. Don't you think it's odd that we don't audit one of the most sacred rights we have in this nation that was bought with the blood of our fellow countrymen? I find it very odd, especially when surveys show that a majority of people in this country do not trust that our elections are free and fair. The law does not prohibit you from doing so. You are the gatekeepers in this county to ensure that we have free and fair elections in our community. Those ballots, they belong to we the people. Not the federal government, not the state government, but to we the people. Those votes belong to all of us. We want the ballots audited. We want the system of counting those ballots audited. We're not here to complain against staff. No. They're public servants, and I thank them for what they do. The definition of commission is the following: the act of granting certain powers or the authority to carry out a particular task or duty. We elected you to be the commissioners. Please commission a full audit in this county. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your name and where you live?
Good morning. My name's Tony Bauer. I'm a resident of Crow Wing County. It's very common for people to set up a regularly scheduled visit with their physician to do routine checkups, the idea being that we stay ahead of illness and other dangers. When we purchase a new vehicle, the dealer asks us to bring it back in at regular mileage intervals for checkups and maintenance. Neither of these things do we do to accuse the doctor of malpractice, nor do we do it to accuse the dealership of fraud or malfeasance. Most governmental agencies are adamant about creating every opportunity for people to vote in every manner possible. And yet at the same time, so many governmental agencies are adamantly opposed to ensuring the integrity of that process. I think as responsible citizens, we have a right to treat our most valued possession, our elections, with the same respect and intelligence that we treat our automobiles. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Doug Kern. Just a little clarification. I kind of got chided for the last time I was here. I was the Republican Party chair for many, many years. I am an elected official to our township. I am also an elected official to the Crow Wing Association of Townships. I am also a representative of Region 5. All those positions that I have, that's not who I'm representing. I'm representing me as a voter. The night of the election, clarification on it, I was across the hall here, and the last set of ballots that came in, there were many issues. You all received a letter from me that there were issues on election night. When we sat across the hall here, the last set of ballots from Ward 3, Precinct 1, it took them 45 minutes, close to 45 minutes to go 2 blocks from here to here. And there's questions of things that happened besides that, but that's just one of the many things that I have questions about. What happened to those ballots for 45 minutes? And maybe nothing happened? I don't know, because that was never clarified. Okay.
Thank you very much. Name and where you live?
My name is John Sylvester, and I live in Pequot. I as well, thanks to the senator, I don't agree with him. I totally respect his right to speak and voice his opinion. That's great. I as well would like to thank Ms. Erickson for everything she has done. I was an individual. My wife came in and was speaking with her and found out that we had both voted absentee. Tell you what, when I found out I voted absentee, I went through the roof. I was in person. And had it not been for Ms. Erickson, I would still be here today talking to you, committing perjury. She proved to me I voted on Monday. She proved to me that I voted absentee, and I totally respect that. And thank you for all the judges. I really appreciate that. However, I do believe there was errors. I was one of the only ones. We had a lot of people canvassing this county. I was one of the only ones. I was the only one that was on every canvass. I spoke to over 100 people. I witnessed their frustration. I witnessed all the stuff they said. And hopefully, when things come to light, they will be investigated. We're not looking for criminal, that's not what we're here for. We're not looking for criminal charges. We're not looking for placing blame. We're looking for truth. Okay? That's all we're looking for. For those that do not support a forensic audit, I do not understand that. All that shows to me is something is being hidden and needs to come to light. It will. We now have 4 states that are going to be forensically audited. Okay? 2 months ago, there wasn't only Arizona. Things are coming out, folks. The truth will come to the surface. Please be part of the truth. Thank you.
Thank you. Name and where you live?
My name's Jeremy Pakula. I am a resident of Morrison County. Good morning, County Commissioners, and thank
If I
you.
could just interrupt for one quick second. Have you presented to Morrison County also?
Yes, but no, not to Morrison County, just to you guys,
Why not Morrison County?
because this involves your county, what I have before you right here.
From what I understand, this represents the whole state of Minnesota in
Correct.
effect.
And this is an open forum, correct?
This is open forum. I'm just asking you the question.
Okay. Thanks.
I
Thank
would-
you for.
I would encourage you to address your own county at some point
I
and the
will.
state legislature at some point. Go ahead.
Thanks, I will. First off, I'd like to formally invite all of you, the commissioners, the sheriff, the administrator, the attorney, and certainly the County Administrative Services Director to an upcoming event that many of us in this room have been organizing. It will be held on Thursday, December 9th, starting at 6 p.m. at the Brainerd Exchange. Speakers featured at this event will be Minnesota Attorney Susan Smith, the owner of MidwestSwampWatch.com and former mayor of St. Bonifacius, Minnesota, Rick Weibel, and headlining will be data analysis expert and former Army Captain Seth Keschel, who I've spoken about previously in front of this board. You will be emailed the link so that each of you can RSVP to this event. I urge each of you to attend. After all, it is your civil duty to be completely informed. This event is being brought to your community because it is imperative that the citizens get the facts of what took place in the November 2020 election. It will be attended by multiple Minnesota lawmakers, one being Representative Glenn Gruenhagen of Glencoe, along with hundreds of others from all across the state that are also in search of the truth. Every one of our civil liberties that are granted to us by the Constitution of these United States is hanging in the balance because, yes, elections certainly have consequences. Look at the world we are currently living in right now. How did we get here? How did we get to a place where our elected officials in St. Paul and Washington, D.C. are not the true representation of we the people? The answer is simple. Election manipulation taking place on multiple levels. Some have asked, how do we pay for a full forensic audit of Crow Wing County? Why can't we use the $12.58 million remaining out of the $14 million funded to the state through the CARES Act, which could be used for election integrity under the HAVA Act that was signed into federal law in 2002 when there was a clear violation of this law? How was the HAVA Act violated? Well, the only two authorized vendor with certification from the United States Election Commission to carry out such election machine and equipment certifications for the federal government both had expired certifications and were not certified until February 1st, 2021, and I have them all right here. That information will be part of the Supreme Court lawsuit being filed today by Kurt Olson that will also have over a year's worth of evidence and affidavits attached to it regarding this very issue. Will the Brainerd Dispatch attend the event on December 9th and report the truth? Will they report the Supreme Court case that's happening today? Let's see what happens. We the people deserve nothing but transparency. That is why we are here, and we are not going away. Thank you.
Thank you. If you'll pull that mic down.
Hi, I'm Bonnie Orton. I'm from Roosevelt Township. I've been a clerk and an election judge for 8 years. And I didn't plan to do this, but I just wanted to say that the election judges and Debbie has been fantastic in teaching us, and agree with the senator that Crow Wing County is one of the best for election judges. And what I'm not hearing anywhere is the election judges do what they should. They're very competent in counting and doing everything that they should and keeping the chain of custody and all that. What I'm not hearing is anybody talking about any outside interference, whether it's different residents, if it's somebody from out of state, whoever it is, trying to change our elections. And I wish that everyone here would band together with Debbie and the election judges and want to take a look to see what there is. If there's people sending out extra absentee ballots to people, I've heard of people getting like 5 ballots in the mail, and things like that, and helping the election judges and Debbie and all of us find out what the real reason is for all these abnormalities. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else that wishes to speak? Anyone else? With that, I'll close the open forum, and we'll move on to number 3 on our agenda, which is to review and approve the minutes from November 9th, 2021.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Commissioner Franzine to approve.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Brecken. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
That motion passes. Number 4 is review and approve the agenda. We do have one item that we're going to move from the consent agenda. It's been requested by Mr. Bray. 5.7 will move to his regular opportunity to speak, which is under number 6.
Motion to approve with changes.
Commissioner Franzine makes the motion to approve the agenda as amended. Commissioner Coring makes the second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes. Number 5 is the consent agenda.
Motion to approve with the change.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Coring, second by Commissioner Franzine to accept with the one change. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes. We'll move on to number 6, Mr. Bray. So you'll have a 6.1 and a 6.2, or referencing 5.7. It's your pleasure to, whichever one you want to start with.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners, for that quick change. I wanted to first talk about the one that was taken from the consent agenda. If you recall, in the Committee of the Whole, I went through the Federal Land Access Program and shared a draft layout that we have, and we're hoping to apply for a grant coming up in December 15th. The reason why I wanted to pull it off the consent calendar is because of a change that I have become aware of since I submitted it last week, and it really has to do with the local match. And what part of the grant process, I've been in contact with the grant administrator down, who is a MnDOT representative, and clarified that in the state of Minnesota, that this grant will not pay for engineering and right-of-way. So this is a federal grant, and so there's correspondence at the federal level that does allow for it to pay for engineering and right-of-way. And I was told that the state of Minnesota does not do that and only concentrates, like on many other, on just construction. And so what that does in effect, instead of the $960,000 that I have listed in the final paragraph of the RBA, the grant funds that we were going to apply for will go down to $800,000, because that represents 80% of our projected construction costs. And that in turn brings the local match up to $400,000 instead of $240,000. So I wanted to bring to your attention that our estimates for the local match for what you saw there, or what you see there on the layout, actually is projected to go up $160,000. And before you consider the resolution supporting the grant, I wanted to make you aware of that. The number does not appear in the resolution, only in the RBA. I'd be happy to answer any questions or clarify any of that for you.
How will the increase in the local match be?
The local increase would be $160,000, so up from 240, I'm sorry.
And how would you propose to fund the increase?
Fund the increase would also be with a combination it's eligible for local option sales tax, but because the proposal is on the state aid system, it could also be, state aid funds could be utilized. The gas tax money that we get each year could be used for that too. We're still ironing out a lot of the details. We're applying for this grant on a concept. These are planning level estimates, but I wanted to give you the best I had right now before you offer your support to it and vote on it specifically. So this, I don't know if you can see this, and this number would go down to 800,000, which is what we would apply for, and this number would go up 160,000. This one down 160,000, this one up. So 400,000 is our projected local contribution to this project if it's funded.
How will this affect your budget?
Well, this would be a 2024 project, so that budget would not, has not been developed. We would build that into the 2024 budget, and it would be.
So it'll be absorbed over time, is what you're saying?
We would program it that year.
Right.
So it isn't affecting an established budget yet. It would just be part of the 2024 budget. Thank you.
So what we're looking for is a motion to approve the resolution supporting this.
Right, supporting, moving forward with applying for the grant. And there's a lot of work to be done after and if the grant is awarded.
Mr. Chair, I'd make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Brecken
Second.
to support the resolution. Second by Commissioner Franzine. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. That motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to 6.1 now, the federal fund for the state aid fund exchange agreement for project SP 018-645-008.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. The next item is an exchange of federal money and state aid money. Just as a reminder, state aid money is the allocation that we get from the gas tax in our distribution every year. Also, if you recall, the Highway Department and our construction program has many funding sources, including local option, sales tax, property tax levy, state aid, and federal allocations that sometimes we get through special programs, or we compete every year for at Region 5 with the Technical Advisory Committee made up of the 5 county engineers and some other representatives. So back, I guess it'd be 5 years ago, we were awarded federal funds for CASAF 45 and the resurfacing down from the county line. I don't know how many miles up, not too far past the bridge that's there. And these projects, it was awarded federal funds, and there's been an opportunity for the state to combine federal projects so they don't have 2 different federal projects and their own separate paperwork and things like that. And so the request was that Stearns County, who already has a federal project that has turned out to be underfunded, utilize the federal money, and that they would backfill that with their state aid money and give that to us. Now, so there are some advantages to Crow Wing County to do this. We've done this before, but some of the advantages are it really simplifies our bidding and contract management processes. So recently we have combined a lot of our bituminous overlay projects into one, and to have it as one funding source is very beneficial to us instead of having to go through the federal process, because it's much more rigorous than the state aid or local aid process. So that helps us. And also, federal projects require Crow Wing County or every county to front the money first and then be reimbursed after the project is done. And so with state aid, in contrast to that, after bid letting, we get 95% of that up front. So we'll have the money in the bank before the project, 95% of it in the bank before the project even starts. That helps with cash flow. That helps with our finances here, rather than holding the $700,000 that we would, the cost of the project, and then seek reimbursement later. I talked about the advantages to MnDOT. It lessens the number of federal projects they have. And of course, Stearns County, there is a benefit to them by narrowing their funding sources down to 1 or 2. This is something we've done before. There is we're going to get the same amount of money. It's just kind of the color of money. And it actually, the process is less rigorous for us here too. So.
Okay.
With that, I'm happy to. That's a long explanation of something that's fairly routine. It happens throughout the state. The last time it happened here was 2016, where we did the same thing. We have never been the recipient of somebody else's federal money and give them our state aid, not to my knowledge. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Questions?
I'll make the motion to approve the resolution.
Motion by Commissioner Franzine to approve the resolution. Commissioner Coring seconds that motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Not in favor, same sign. Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. County Sheriff, welcome.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. No real update today, just one item that we've got coming up on Thursday. We help out the Legion with turkey delivery for our area residents that can't get out. So if anybody's willing to come down and help at the Legion about 10 a.m. Other than that, I'd like to wish everyone a safe travels for Thanksgiving, and I hope you have a wonderful and enjoyable Thanksgiving weekend.
Thank you very much. Let's hope for a very safe weekend.
Yes, please.
A lot of people on the roads, so. With that, we'll move to the county attorney, Mr. Ryan.
Good morning, everybody. How is everyone today?
Good morning. Good.
I don't have anything to report other than I did not have the opportunity to complete the legal review of the question, Mr. Chairman, that you posed to me in regards to the request for the forensic audit of the 2020 election. It's a very important issue. I want to make sure I take enough time to get that done appropriately, and I hope to respond to you in December.
Very good. Anything else?
Not for me, but I can certainly answer any questions anybody may have.
Questions for the attorney? All right, thank you very much. Have a nice Thanksgiving.
You too. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you.
County Administrator.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, we did not hold a senior management team meeting yesterday for lack of agenda items, but we are in the process of sort of discussing and rolling out the peer support team introduction, and countywide, it is a reflection of the fact that, you know, oftentimes like firefighters or law enforcement officers, even social workers, we ask them to run towards the fire, not away from the fire. And that can result in traumatic kinds of experiences, whether it's child abuse or at an accident scene or an inmate death in the jail or social workers who have to take pictures of kids who have been abused or neglected. The kinds of things that we do will induce trauma. And Commissioner Coring, your service with delivery service, you've mentioned that in the past, that those kinds of things stick with you. And, you know, as a kid from Cushing, I always like to think I'm a tough guy. You know, I can take it. I can deal with the traumas that I've experienced. We all go through traumas in life. We're asking people to go towards those traumas. We're really trying to do better at responding to the fact that those traumas will stick with you. Recognize it. I love the term that's used in the sheriff's office, a checkup from the neck up. You know, it really is a reflection of the fact that these things will stick with us. And we don't want to be the cause for somebody to have that burden forever. We can do things about it, so we're working on that, not just in the sheriff's office, but kudos to them for being sort of the guinea pig and the lead agency for us, but trying to do that a little bit more countywide as well. You have in your packet a request for board action from the city of Baxter. They have 5 parcels that they would like to have acquired for public purposes consistent with our land asset management policy. The purposes are for things like stormwater ponds, a lift station for underneath the roadbed of one of their roads. We did review these parcels with both Commissioner Franzine and Commissioner Barrows because they are located in their districts. I don't believe they had any objections to it, but they could register those today if they do. And so I put it forward. I think from a staff perspective, we have no issue with these parcels. They do meet with our land asset management policy, and so we would suggest approval.
Look for a motion to approve.
So moved.
Motion by Commissioner Franzine.
I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Hoag. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Not in favor, same sign. That motion passes.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, also enclosed in your packet is a request for board action to have the contract renewed with Hart for being a holding facility for impounded dangerous dogs in Crow Wing County. County government has the statutory responsibility to deal with dangerous dogs, and if a dangerous dog needs to be impounded, we impound it at Hart. The rate has been the same for as long as we can remember, and you can see that from the request for board action, we have approved the contract renewal since '09 at the same rate, and so I put it forward for your consideration and recommend approval.
Any questions?
Move the contract renewal.
Commissioner Coring makes the motion to approve the contract renewal number 12.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Franzine. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Not in favor, same sign. That motion passes.
Mr. Chair, also enclosed in your board packet is a request for board action to renew the contract with Hart. This is to be a holding facility for stray dogs in the First Assessment District. And so this would be you acting as the town board for the First Assessment District Townships and cities are responsible to handle stray dogs within, or stray animals, frankly, it can be more than dogs, but stray animals within their jurisdictions. This is the way that we handle this for the First Assessment District. These contracts go back as well to '09. There is no change in the impound fee, we do pay an administrative fee per month so that we can help to offset their costs that way. Otherwise, we pay a daily impound fee, and you can see that that's a significantly reduced daily impound fee as compared to the dangerous dog one. So this is a renewal of the contract at the same rates for the First Assessment District for impounding stray animals.
Move approval of the contract.
Commissioner Coring makes a motion to approve the contract between Heartland Animal Rescue and the FAD.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Franzine. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those not in favor, same sign. Motion passes. 9.5, to set our county board calendar for 2022.
Mr. Chair, members of the board, enclosed in your packet is the proposed calendar for 2022. You would note that it has county board meetings on it, committee of the whole meetings on it. We also put the holidays on there, just so people don't schedule something then. When is the personnel committee, when is the budget committee, and when is the natural resources advisory committee? Once we publish this calendar at the beginning of the year, that is the official notification for all of those meetings. If we deviate from the calendar, it is either a special meeting or an emergency meeting. That's how we handle it. So this is the calendar for all of your regularly scheduled meetings for all of those. Mr. Chair, if it would meet with the board's approval, you, of course, can change this later, but I would suggest that you adopt it for 2022.
Mr. Chair, just an FYI, November 8th is your regular scheduled first meeting of November. That is Election Day. I don't know if it makes any difference to the board that, from that perspective, you would have to be done by 6 o'clock. Just keep that in mind.
November 8th?
Yes.
Boy, if we go till 6 o'clock, I'm out of here before then.
Commissioner Coring.
Mr. Houle, so this, in adopting this, this meets our statutory requirement to, we don't have to post, Therese doesn't have to post every week. This takes care of it, all these meetings.
Technically, this does.
Yes.
I think we still publish, and it is because, and you saw an article not that long ago about the sunshine laws and the open meeting law, and we try to err on the side of transparency. This would meet that requirement. We still publish anyway.
Okay.
And it is to make sure that people can attend. There is nothing here to hide. We live in a fishbowl.
So with that, I would look for a motion to adopt the calendar for 2022.
So moved.
Commissioner Franzine makes the motion to approve.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Coring. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Not in favor, same sign. That calendar is now set in stone. Or something close to it. Additional business. I'd like to take the opportunity to wish all the staff a happy Thanksgiving, and actually everybody in the county to have a happy Thanksgiving and a safe one. So with that, I will move on to, we need a motion to go into closed session.
I'd so move.
Regarding labor negotiation strategy pursuant to MS 13D.03, comma, subdivision 1B, as in boy.
I'd so move.
Motion by Commissioner Brecken to go into closed session.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Franzine. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Not in favor, same sign. We will now move.
I think it's just taking a really long time. Oh, there it goes. Okay.
All right, we're back in open session. And with that, I will ask Mel to summarize what we spoke with in the closed session.
Sure. Good morning, Commissioners and Chairman Barrows. We do have a settlement agreement with our LELS Corrections Group. This is an essential unit with 51 employees. We have officers that do have some special assignments, program officers, classification officers, as well as a training coordinator within that unit. This is a group that is market aligned, performance-based pay. They have been that way for a number of years. They're in a pay grade 140. The salary structure movement for the next 3 years will be 2.5% for all 3 years. Insurance, we were able to come to agreement with 2022 with a 0% renewal for overall for the insurance. This group is on county insurance. We also took the opportunity, and they've agreed to our 3-tier benefit structure with realignment of our HSA and our VEBA contribution. This is also an insurance plan that is fully insured with Blue Cross and Blue Shield as we move away from our health consortium that we've been with for a number of years. Other key things with this contract, we did agree right out of the gate a 3-year agreement with them. We will be paying compensatory earned time out. That's a compliance matter that they've agreed to. Uniform allowance will be prorated based on date of hire. Christmas Eve will be consistent with our other LELS units. We've deleted old articles or old language that no longer applies to this group. And there was not a change in our shift differential, and shift differentials from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. So there's no change with the 70-cent shift differential. And that are the key items for this contract settlement.
Thank you very much. I would look for a motion to approve the settlement with LELS Unit Number 16.
So moved.
So moved by Commissioner Franzine.
Second. I'll second.
Second by Commissioner Hoag. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Not in favor, same sign. That motion passes.
Thank you.
With that, I would look for a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Commissioner Coring makes a motion to adjourn. Commissioner Franzine seconds that motion. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Not in favor? Not in favor?